Good morning. It is an eventing morning and we've got an incredibly busy day ahead. It's just before 6 a.m. and I'm about to plait this little lady. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Like I say, it's about 10 to 6 if you can see it on the clock up there. And we've got a lot to do today. I've got both Maggie, where are you? Maggie and Donnie out at Norton Disney, all being well. The ground seemed good when I walked the course yesterday. So we're going to cross our fingers that last night there wasn't too much rain down and hope for the best. So I now need to get this little lady looking all beautiful because she's on first. And then you're on this afternoon, Mr. Man. Okay, Maggie's in the Novice, Donut's in the 100. It's Donut's first run of the season. So I now need to plait the little lady. I've been getting everything together, so ignore the feed bags, they're not coming with us, but steamed hay and all of my kit and food and whatever. I won't eat a whole bag of food, but we've got a lot of helpers coming. So now what we need to do is groom Maggie, plait her, and get on the road for in the next 40 minutes. So I best get going. In the meantime, while I'm doing all of that, I'll let you go back to last night and we shall walk the course. See you in a tick. Right then, let's take a look at this cross-country course. So I went the night before and had a walk, and lovely Lizzie met up with me. She tied in, so I got to have a bit of moral support as we were going around because, blimey, this course was a bit tough, as you can see from 4 and 5. Now, obviously, these were individually numbered, which meant I could do a loop and jump them individually rather than on the angle, which is what I chose to do. Then there was a few more let-up fences. The whole course was incredibly beefy, but that's what you expect at Novice. Then it was beefy with sprinkles on top because they decided to make the fences bigger, more technical is the only thing I can say. And there's Lizzie. So after that ditch and palisade with the ginormous brush on top, we then had these tyres, which I've jumped out schooling, but since then they've modified them and given them a haircut to have brush on top. And so effectively the ditch palisade was possibly a slightly more open fence, and then you needed to get your horse back for the technical right angle turn to go over these 2 tyres, as you can see, and they were pretty much bigger than me. Lizzie's quite a bit taller than I am. But hey ho, so we walked the stride, decided the line I'd take and sort of thought get on with it. Then a nice let up fence at number 10. And then up onto the mound here, and we had this log. And then quite a sharp angle, as you can see Lizzie's walking it, to a decent shoulder brush. So that's the line you'd take with a more advanced horse. With Maggie, who is less experienced, Lizzie's walking the line I wanted, where I'd just slightly curve it. So I'd jump the log on the angle and then curve round to the right, just so that she's not looking at running out to the left. Then we came to these 2 corners and they were on a nice curving stride, either 5 or 6 strides, I think it was, depending on how wide you rode around the curve, and I thought that was quite inviting, much nicer than the mound and the tyres. And then there's this big brush oxer, which has always been big, and then they just thought, hey, you know what, shall we put some extra brush on it to make it bigger? So how lovely, look at that, even bigger. And then to the water we've got a boat, 2 strides, and they've actually made the log off into the water a little bit smaller, so slightly more inviting than last year's water, because there was also no triple brush afterwards. It was just the 2 to ride off. And then this big decent chicaner, but jumps quite well, turning left to a house and then straight onto this skinny, so a little bit of a breather. The first part of the course came so thick and fast, that was probably your first chance to get a bit of a breather. And then you're back to questions and giant brush fences. And, it's all fine and good that these brush fences aren't that big on the solid part, but if you've got a horse that doesn't brush, they're actually really quite large. And this coughing combination is it's quite skinny, and it was built on quite a forward too, so you really had to attack down to everything. There was no prissy preeming about, you had to get on with it. Then that was it. If you got through there, you were home and dry. So that's the cross country course. And then I thought I'd just show you a little bit of the show jumping course because it was up. So we were 1, 2 dog leg to 3. The ground was decent but soft, and we actually did have a hell of a lot of rain overnight, and it was still raining by the time I was doing dressage, but hey ho. Have a look at the course here. It was a nice show jumping course. For once it actually didn't look that scary, and this was a double, but I didn't seem to get the first part.
I tried to be your everything, gave my everything, I sold out. Now just look at me, I'm a ghost with nothing left. Hollow, emptied out, what got lost can't be found. You stole every bit of me, now I can't remember. Ooh, who I am, what I like, what I do, what I'm like when without you. Ooh, should've known you're too good to be true. You don't come around here no more. Why'd you have to let me go? Let me go, go, go. You don't think about me no more. Why can't I just let it go? Let it go, go, go. Why'd you have to show me heaven just to leave me down in hell? You don't come around here no more. Why'd you have to let me go? Let me know, no, no. Someday I will make you answer for all of your mistakes. But I'll wait till
Right then, that is the ponies all loaded and ready to go. Just en route to the field with Flinty and a big hay-neck to keep him company because he's going to be out by himself today. There's other horses around, but they do come in for a couple of hours during the day, so he'll spend a few hours on it. Pretty gorgeous. So he's going to have his trusty hay-neck keeping him company. Boy. It'll be the first time we've had to leave him alone like this since losing Titan. But I'm sure they'll just let me know if there's any issues. And then, because we're on our way down the drive to leave, Mum will pick me up in the car and pick me up, and we'll make our way to Norton from there. So let's go.
But I guess you had other plans. I wish I'd known in advance that way. Maybe I could've got in my heart.
Right then, we are here. We managed to get on without being towed. I don't know. Can you see out there? There's Granny. And yeah, it's cutting up a bit, but actually the ground feels fairly okay when you walk on it, doesn't it, Mum? Yeah, feels all right. The lorry next to us has just been towed on, but we didn't get towed on. We were fine with my mother's expert driving. So it's a bit chillier here than it was at home. So they travelled without rugs. So I'm going to pop Dooney a rug on, and I need to get changed and get going fairly quick. So it's going to be great.
Floppy. Finally! Oh, I just said I'm so sorry I'm late.
Don't worry. I'm not doing anything it's like. So here we go. This is Maggie's warm-up, and I think it was safe to say everybody was amazed at how well behaved she was being, because every dressage test this year, she has been a bit of an eager beaver, we shall say. So it's been taking quite a bit of time to settle her down, and it seems that she's finally hit that stage. And I am so thrilled with her way of going. She looks beautiful and compliant, and she's starting to look certainly not downhill, possibly verging towards uphill even, which is great because that has been a mission for a good 2 years now, and we're starting to finally realise that. As you can see, it was raining still, as if we needed a little bit more moisture in the ground. But hey ho, that's how it goes. But we were cracking on anyway. I was wrapped up nice and warm in my coat. Maggie was working nice and hard.
I know, I was just thinking that exactly. She looks very, very chilled out.
And it's clear that obviously Amy and Mum were thinking the same, wondering how relaxed she was looking, which is not a complaint. I mean, as Maggie went round the edge, she did have a little bit of a moment and a think, but I said, no, madam, you can knuckle down. You've been a good girl in the warm-up and we can carry on. Now, there wasn't that many before me because I was number 23, but I definitely wasn't 23rd into the arena. There was quite a lot of withdrawals, and you can see that the ground's starting to cut up. I mean, we probably did have the best arena with being at the top of the hill, which I was very grateful for, but it was still pretty deep, as to be expected, given so many events were cancelling and it was raining so much. But as you can see, the sun broke the clouds for my test, which was very nice of it, and Maggie was being compliant. I have got a confession to make. I did accidentally leave my dressage tests at my flat, and I happen to be editing in the office at the moment, so I'm very sorry I don't have the judges' scores, but I can tell you my view on it. Start of the test, very good, very accurate. That first leg yield wasn't so great. She'd definitely done better in the warm-ups, and I had to sort of let her go through her shoulder a little bit because she wasn't reacting off of my left leg quickly. Here, by some miracle, Maggie has finally worked out how to do a bit of proper medium trot, and I was so thrilled with what she did there. A little bit of a flick of the head out of the trot, but nothing major, and a good walk transition. Then we had to do a loop in walk where we walked from K to X to whatever the corner marker was down at the judge's end, and she did a lovely free walk. She's got a really excellent walk and she normally scores quite well, but I have never scored as well as I did with this. So I do remember this because it stands out. I got a 9 for our free walk and we were thrilled. And we had no jig jogging in the medium walk, which hasn't happened for a while. She's normally so keen to get on with it. She's like, oh, trotting or cantering is coming in when I pick her up for the medium walk. So she was very good. Had a minor discussion there just on the straight where she decided that we'd done the walk and she wanted to go fast, and I just sort of was having to say no, settle down. But if you saw her test from Lincoln, you'll know this was really brilliant in comparison, and I was chuffed with her. She was a good girl. So it's a symmetrical test. Once we'd done the free walk, we did that 15-metre circle, and then we come on to the 3/4 line, and we have to do a leg yield after crossing the EB line, and this leg yield was much nicer. I was really pleased with it, and I think she scored well in it. And then we were on to the canter work up here. Lovely canter transition, and what you can't see is at the judges' car end of the arena, the ground was really quite deep, so we were picking our way through it. Got to do a medium canter on this half 20 metre, and we did show a difference. I think it could be better in future, but I was able to keep her contained afterwards. That's usually the difficult part. So I was quite pleased with that, especially as, like I say, we're picking our way through the ground. Canter trot, canter on the diagonal. She did that lovely. She was ever such a good girl. And then we come round to do another half 20-metre circle in medium canter in just a second from B. So I've got a nice and uphill here. I let her go. Bigger strides. That was a nice medium canter, actually. Good girl. And then this is the tricky bit. I then have to get her back in time to turn and canter down the centre line. And that's usually very exciting for her. You can see we deviate off the centre line slightly, but I bring her back, and actually she was very compliant. And we actually got a 32 for this, which left us in 3rd place. Good girl, Miss Maggie May. Really chuffed with that. So here's our show jumping. I've got 2 angles to show you because I was very lucky to have extra helpers this day. I'm not going to lie, the ground sort of wasn't great. It wasn't great in the warm-up, and it was nice up at this top end of the arena. The other end, which was sort of down towards the tent and barn and lorries, it was really a bit iffy, and she just had the one rail where she got a little bit stuck in the mud, but she was a really, really good girl, and I was thrilled with it. I feel like we're starting to get a little bit more competent when it comes to show jumping at this height now, which is great. And I honestly think if there was normal ground, she definitely wouldn't have had the rail down.
Come on, Maggie May.
Now it's Darling Deluxe. Actually, Joanna Smith.
Girl. Come on, Banksy. Well done.
They head out in third place in their section, which is the open novice section D. So all to play for, mindful of that 2 place for Annabelle Finster and Bond on the app. Joining us now is Evangeline Llewellyn Smith with Sandra Bettman, Darling Deluxe. It's a little check there, experienced at 10 years old. Evangeline has a degree in equine sports science and her pony club 8 So many promising riders coming through the pony club ranks. So many of our top riders starting out in the pony club.
Okay, so this is the point when I jump in, despite my fairy style music, and say it wasn't a fairy tale ending this day at Norton. We went into cross country in 2nd position, and there we go. That was the first stop, and you're going to get to see it close up. So the ground wasn't great. We've had this discussion, but it started the season. It's amazing that Norton got to run. Unfortunately, as we got further down the hill, the ground deteriorated. This fence, I did not expect trouble at all. It is a fence that I would have expected Maggie to jump, stood on her head in her sleep. But apparently there had already been 2 lots of stone in it, and you can hear the squelching of her feet. You can see how deep it is. And I just really don't think she liked the ground. I just really, really don't think it was the ground for her, and I don't think there's much we can say about that. You know, maybe she needs a winter of hunting, maybe I need to ride on it more, but the only way we can learn from these things is to go out and give it a crack in the first place. You're getting a nice old close-up of me having refusals, which isn't nice to watch, but you know what? There is not a rider out there that hasn't gone out on course and had stops at some stage or another, and this course was beefy as hell, and I still, even though I wasn't sure about the ground, still went out to give it a crack. Now in hindsight, I should have taken the long route straight away here. I really should have, but you know, I wanted to do it, and Maggie just again got onto some stones and just went no. So I just took my time and there was a long route, so I could jump the ditch and then loop round to the right to jump over the table. So this is what we did. And she popped over this neatly. Anywhere where it hadn't already been cut up, she seemed to jump really well. I actually went and walked the course with Donut after this, and like that oxer fence she jumped well was also on good going. And this is a stage where I wish I had actually just retired, because you can see she just jacks it in there, like really far out. She just went, no, I'm really not sure about this. And I gave her a pat and stuck my hand up to the fence judge, futile as it is, because we're eliminated already by them anyway, and found out which way she wanted us to walk home. It's one of those things, there's time for another day. Maggie's a careful horse. She's not used to going on muddy going. It's just one of those things, and I can't go around getting too upset about it, because actually we've learned a hell of a lot from it. And I chatted with Lizzie, because Lizzie was there. She was amazing. She warmed us up and she really helped me out. And she's seen a few bits that she thinks that we can work on and tweak to help Maggie feel more confident despite the going, which is great. I love the fact that we're going away with a plan, which is fantastic. I can't say I'm not disappointed, because obviously I'd have loved to go and fly around clear. But actually, I want to show you guys every element of the sport. And actually, not every day goes perfect. And that's okay, because our horses aren't machines. And my mare did 2 phases amazingly. She beat Ros Cantor in the dressage, yes. And she was a really great girl in the show jumping. And she tried for me in the cross country. Now, is Maggie going to be the most forgiving horse on the cross country? No, she's not. She's not forgiving. If I miss, she sometimes gets upset. And that is just how she is. And it's something that we know about her, and that's fine. And I still love her because, you know, it's part of who she is. But when she can go, and when she does go, and when she does give, she's incredible. So we will learn from this. We will do some more practice. We will go out. We'll jump around more courses, and we will come out stronger for it. Right, let's go on to Donut's course walk. Oh dear, that wasn't the plan. We got to fence 9 and then we walked home. And Maggie was just hating the ground, but all good experience. Hopefully we'll learn from it, but we can't dwell on it for too long because we now have Donut. So Amy and I have just walked the cross-country course and we're going back to plat him up. Right, quick whistle-stop tour of the BE100. Let's go. You've seen a lot of the fences because they were next to the novice fences. 1, 2, 3, nice let-up fences. Bit weird to have a skinny at number 2, but it's not like he was going to run out of it because there was other fences around it. 4AB, first combination. It's on a straight line. It's down the hill. Obviously, B's are skinny, so we need to be accurate. I think it rode on a fairly forward stride. I think it walked on a forward stride. I can't remember by now. 5, you came to this on a bit of an angle if you didn't want to waste too much time and space, but it was just an oxer. 6, big, beefy duck off oxer. I didn't swear then, I said duck. And then straight on to a skinny. I think there was a long route, but with badminton in mind, I was thinking we kind of need to do the tricana. I think I just said oxer then as well. Oh God, I'm losing my marbles. Anyway, still on my way to the skinny. There's Christmas trees. Wasn't too worried about the skinny, but Donut can be ditchy, so I was thinking that tricana is fairly testing, so I thought I need to really ride that. Nice let up fence, then onto the log on the mound, down to a triple brush, double brush, whatever you want to call it. Got Christmas trees around it, brush. And again, those 2 rode on quite an attacking stride too. I could have done a circle, but again, badminton in mind, want to be doing the combination straight if I can. 11A, 11B, nice straight line. Fairly okay 3 strides, I remember rightly, to B. Thought it was quite friendly, a bit like the novice. Brush oxer, that's giant. They made it even more giant. We're just repeating ourselves now, aren't we? Water was quite friendly. Just jump this, go canter through. Much nicer than Maggie having a drop in. Although I'd rather jump the drop in on Donut. Donut's much better with water than Maggie. Then a house to 4. Then a let up fence. Look at that ground. Ugh. It was a bit muddy that day, and you can see why Maggie wasn't too pleased about it. The novice coffin from last year, Donut gets to do it in the 100, and you can see how deep it was getting. That was just for your benefit to see how deep it was getting. Big duck off ditch. But if I can jump it, he can jump it, so you know. And then we're pretty much homeward bound, chair and a roll top to finish. But you can see why Maggie didn't like the ground. But by this stage of the day, sunny, and it was drying out so quick. Quick plait done, and Donut quickly studded up, tacked up, and get on and go. And we're here warming up in a very windy and sunny Norton. So the ground is drying up really well. I was in that arena that's behind me right now, right at the bottom of the hill, so worst of the ground. You can't actually see how squelchy it was on the video, which is nice. Nice rose tinted spectacles. But I was just working him in. You can see I'm not working him terribly fast. I could have warmed him up at the top of the hill. The ground was really nice at the top of the hill by the time I came down, but it wouldn't have given him the chance to climatise to the ground he was being ridden in the arena. So that's why I chose to ride him down there. I am so pleased with how well he is looking. I haven't even clipped him this winter. This is just him in his spring coat now. And you can just see us working in nice and steadily, a little bit deeper there, and he's just getting on with it. And there's the cross-country running on the other side of the hedge. I'm practicing some give and retakes, and he's just like, yeah, life's cool. I'm a dressage horse. And yeah, he's really getting on with it. It looks really rather beautiful, to be fair to him. His schooling is nowhere near where Maggie's is too, but he's not been on the yard with us as long, so of course he's less experienced, and also he's a thoroughbred. He's not really designed for dressage, and yet he actually looks very handsome, if I do say so myself. And I feel like the work we've been doing with Lizzie on getting him rounder and getting his muscles built up is just helping. So I went over once I was warmed up. I could basically go whenever I was ready because there was a lot of people who'd withdrawn, and you can see that it's actually a little bit deeper as we went in there, and I discovered the judge's end was really not great. Ooh, that's a lovely wiggle off the centre line. We're a good 2 metres to the left, aren't we? Hey ho. And then you can see he's really sort of picking his way through the mud at that C end. So for me, at that stage, that was the instant that the test turned into let's just deal with this. And I think you can see on his legs, he's muddy up to his fetlocks. So it's a bit better at this end. And you know what? He's being such a champ. I was expecting him to come out at his first dressage test of the year out eventing and to be flipping his lid, to be quite honest. I thought he would be so giddy, so uncontainable, that we wouldn't be able to do what we were doing here. And he was such a good boy, just getting on with the job. And I hope he stays like that in our future tests. So we had to do a give and retake with our inside rein here. And he was great. He stayed consistent. He was a little hollow in the canter transition, but I think the canter quality here is great, especially considering that he was literally in a bog at that stage. And then the trot transition wasn't super, but we got on with it, and a good walk transition to boot. So again, I don't have my dressage test. I'm very sorry. But we did get, I think it was 34 point something, maybe 35. And that left us in 5th after dressage. So the judges were marking really quite harshly in my arenas, but it doesn't matter. It's the placing it leaves you in. He did a decent free walk on a long rein there. And he picked up into his medium walk and trot really well. That would be the point that I'd normally expect him to spin or something. I do remember one of the comments on my judges sheet to being... could be more laterally supple or swing more laterally. But to be quite honest, I was just trying to survive the test. At this point, you can't see it from this end, I was 2 meters away from the track at the sea end, and that was just to try and avoid the worst of the mud, and you can see he's still pulling his way through it. So he was doing a really good job just to get on with it. And I do actually think some of the quality of the work was actually quite strong. Not a good canter transition at all, but it's really hard to have them through the back when the ground isn't consistent. But again, he quickly regained his composure and was in quite a nice way of going. Like I say, sea end, I was riding a good few meters away from the track, so I didn't have quite as much space for my 20-meter circle, but I thought that give and retake was excellent. I really exaggerate them, especially with him, because he's quite good at them, and he stays so consistent down the rein even when I do the give and retake, which proves that he's through. And he's just gleaming here. I think give him better going and a little bit more schooling, and he has the chance of being really quite competitive, which I don't always remember myself with him, you know, because Maggie's so good at dressage. Sometimes I sort of pocket him into the not very good at dressage side of things, and I need to sort that centre line out, to be quite honest. But overall, a good test to lay in 5th. Good boy, Donut.
Let's go 3, 1, 5, 0 west.
On to show jumping now. They had done what they could. They moved the fences, they'd removed fences to make the ground better, and it was drying out. So let's see how we go.
You're a guilt trip, feeding me with all these lies. I feel sick. You're a bad choice that I made 5 years ago at some party in New York. Are you texting me to tell me that I'm shit? Why are you still going on about things I never did? Maybe you can't see that I'm hard to hold. I know I'm a basket case you think should be alone, but I still have my friends, don't want you. All I need is them, don't want you. I can barely sleep cause of you, but I still have my friends, don't want you. You're a nightmare, reminding me of who I am. I feel scared sometimes. Why'd you leave me be? I know I'm a mess, but I don't need you to tell me. I can't change the things that happen. I know my head's not right. I wish that I could be somebody that's good enough for you, but I still have my friends, don't want you. All I need is them, don't want you. I can barely sleep cause of you, but I still have my friends, don't.
3 cheers for Donut's first B100 show jumping clear, please. Right now.
I think she knows that she drives him crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes him want it so bad. It's the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, cause I want her to. Oh yeah, I'm running in circles just to make her react. My heart is racing, yeah, I want her so bad. I wanna kiss her, but I know for a fact that she's way too cool, but I want her to. Oh yeah, ripped skinny jeans and tattoos on both her ankles. 21 pilot t-shirt, got some stuff. Goddamn, she's so fly, knows how to write a good song, at least better than this. Cause if you've seen her, I know that you would believe it. Cause I know that you'd want her to. Yeah, I do. Come on and give it a shot, but you'll be missing the cut. I think she knows that she drives him crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes him want it so bad. Gets the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, cause I want her to. Oh yeah, I'm running in circles just to make her react. My heart is racing, yeah, I want her so bad. I wanna kiss her, but I know for a fact that she's way too cool. But I want her to. Everyone's taking their shot, showing all that they got, but they'll be missing the cut. I think she knows that she drives him crazy when she's looking like that. The way she's moving makes him want it so bad. Gets the attention that we wish that we had. Yeah, it's almost cruel, cause I want her to. Oh yeah, I'm running in circles just to make her react. My heart is racing, yeah, I want her so bad. I wanna kiss her, but I know for a fact that she's way too cool. But I want her to. Kiss her right to.
Wishing well corner. See what setting up, balancing up. Wishing well on.
We're on our way home. Well, not quite. We need to actually evacuate the car park first. I'll do a debrief later, but we're going to cheer Mum on to get out without getting stuck. Fingers crossed. Changed your mind. That one's being pulled.
Come on.
We're home, safe and sound, and didn't even have to be towed, which is good. Managed to drive on and drive off, which not many people manage. I am over the moon with how Donut went. He was amazing, better than I could ever have expected him to come out, given the limited prep we've had. And I was so pleased with, I'd say, even more than 2/3 of Maggie's work. She warmed up great for cross country, and the first few fences cross country was amazing before she started losing confidence. And the real silver lining of it is that Lizzie was actually there, so she warmed me up for cross country, gave me some really brilliant warm-up tips cross country about turning more in the warm-up rather than just jumping and running. And she also got to see what happened, because I've always said that Maggie's very different out at an event compared to at home. I'm just letting these catch some grass. It's wheel or anything. So she got to see it. She said that actually it was really interesting, and she's got some ideas. So I'm quite excited to talk through those ideas with Lizzie, because it is frustrating when it goes wrong. But by the same token, she did start the cross country brilliantly. She did a fantastic dressage, beat Roz Cantor in the dressage. I think we're like third or second or whatever after dressage, so she did really well with that. Jumped a lovely show jumping around. Didn't deserve the pole she had, but that was just the ground, and you know, one of those things. And yeah, we've learnt a lot. So normally I'd be like crying about an elimination. I'm really frustrated, and yes, it's frustrating, but it's in the terms of I want to get back out there and have another go at it, and I want to make a plan to sort of rectify this. I'm just like, oh, Donut. Oh, I need to now. Are you stood on your rope? No, you're not. That's great news. Come on, Donut. Let me put these away. So I clearly got distracted when getting the horses all turned out and sorted and forgot to do an outro. So I'm going to wrap it up here. It's all edited, so I know what you're going to see at this stage. Whereas usually I'm doing an outro, I'm like, I don't know how this vlog's going to look. But yeah, the horses were brilliant. I've told you the majority of it in there. The only thing I didn't tell you is that Donut was set up to come 5th. He'd done like his whatever his dressage was, 30 to 5 or whatever, double clear, and then I got speeding penalties, which I had realised very early on in the course. So you'd have noticed on the video I came out meaning business, and then I noticed on my minute markers that we were really high up on them, and I was slowing down quite early on, but I was still 8 seconds too fast. I think they must have wheeled it wrong, because there was a lot of too fast coming in, and we were going really quite slow by the end. We should have lost the time for if we were meant to be travelling at 100 speed, but I think they must have got it wrong somehow. So that doesn't matter. Donut jumped to double clear. That's what matters. So we dropped ourselves down the placings, but like I say, not really phased about that. I'm really pleased with him. I've said what I've got to say about Maggie. We're working on it, and hopefully we will get there. And I am just so proud of my super duper wonderful, beautiful, amazing ponies. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it interesting, and I will see you next time.
I think she knows that she drives me crazy when she's looking